कुंज बिहारी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अस्तोत्र सत अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडराचार्य बीवीटी फाउंडराचार्य शील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अस्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gaura. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service. Today we are reading text 23. Madashraya kathamrishta Shanvanti kathayanti cha तपन्ति विविधास्तापा नेतान्मद्गतचेतसा मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधास्तापा नैतान्मद्गतचेतसा मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधास्तापा नैतान्मद्गतचेतसा। Please chant. Madashraya kathamrishta Shranvanti kathayanti cha Tapanti vividhastapa Madashraya kathamrishta मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा तपन्ति विविधास्तापा नैतान्मद्गतचेतसा मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधस्तापा मदाश्रया शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधास्तापा मतान्मद्गतचेतसा। माताजी प्लीज। मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च विविधस्तापा मतान्मद्गतचेतसा। मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विविधास्तापा नैतान्मद्गतचेतसा। Synonyms: mat ashraya, about me; katha, stories; mrishtha, delightful; shanvanti, they hear; kathayanti, they chant; cha, and; tapanti, inflict suffering; vividha, various; tapaha, the material miseries; na, do not; etan, unto them; mat gata, fixed on me; chetasa, their thoughts. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: engage constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. Purport: there are multifarious miseries in material existence, those pertaining to the body and the mind, those imposed by other living entities, and those imposed by natural disturbances. But a sadhu is not disturbed by such miserable conditions because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness, and thus he does not like to talk about anything but the activities of the Lord. Maharaja Ambarish did not speak of anything but the pastimes of the Lord. Vacham Sivekuntha Gunanu Varnane. He engaged his words only in glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or His devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of the material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls, being forgetful of the activities of the Lord, are always full of anxieties and material tribulations. On the other hand, since the devotees always engage in the topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of the miseries of material existence. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. I was thinking, after having such big celebrations, I guess everyone is saturated with all the festivities. But like it says here, a devotee is always engaged in chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. These are the activities. Lord Kapila, he is explaining to his mother glories of devotion service. And in previous verse, text 22, he is talking about a devotee who is constantly engaged in devotional service. And now he is giving qualities of devotional service, characteristics of devotional service, what unalloyed pure devotional service awards devotees with. That's what he's explaining here pretty much, like freedom from material miseries. And they are completely oblivious to material miseries. And the reason is because their mind is completely absorbed in devotion service. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining how people who are absorbed in material life, they are full of anxieties because they don't have any shelter. There is no ashraya for them. There is no shelter to go to where they can get relief from. So there are in Nectar of Devotion, first chapter, the Rupa Goswami, he is describing the characteristics of pure devotional service. And the first characteristic is kleshagani. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada was explaining how there are three kinds of kleshas we are inflicted upon or suffering from, or most people are suffering from, is from our own mind and body, from other living entities, and from natural disturbances. So a devotee, they become free from these kleshas, engaged in devotion service. We can take one example from Srimad Bhagavatam itself. The star devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, he is a 5-year-old child, and he's being inflicted so many different kinds of sufferings from his own father. But he's so absorbed, he's not disturbed by them. Of course, he's going through them, but he's not disturbed in his mind. He's not disturbed. His devotional service is not interrupted by his father's inflictment of different painful measures on him. Why? Because he's so absorbed in remembering the Lord. Smarnam, he's actually given as an example for Smarnam, a devotee who is absorbed in remembering the Lord. So one of his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev is Navad Vijay Tvad Vetarnayas Tvad Virya Gayan Mahamrta Magna Chitta. Why is Prahlad oblivious of material miseries? Because his chitta, his heart, is absorbed in Tvad Virya Gayan, glorious activities of the Lord. And only because of that, he is able to be indifferent to material miseries. But a person who is not doing that, how is it possible for them to not be depressed, not be in anxiety, not be stressed by all these things, and always worried how to deal with them? So we can take one example from the current social scene, which is very important. I'm sure many devotees are aware of this. Recently, there is still going on a lot of violent activities going on in Bangladesh, and it's there on ISKCON News also. And many devotees also, they are facing the brunt of it, and they are being affected. But and all the leaders, they are requesting devotees to remember them in their prayers, pray for them so they can be taken out of such a difficult situation. Even the temple deities, they were affected a little bit, but it's said that they can be repaired. But the devotees, there has been no deaths of devotees in that sense, but there have been some people who died as a result of this violence. So in Bhagavad Gita, in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that is the nature of material world. We cannot see it as a place of comfort for eternity. There is always going to be some difficulty in this world. There is always some problem, because that's the plan of this material creation. In this purport to Prahlad's prayer, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that the plan is Durga. Durga means something very difficult to overcome. And Durga is, why it is Durga? Because the lion that Durga travels on, it actually presents passion and ignorance. So most people, they are covered by passion and ignorance, and due to that, they are forgetful of these devotional activities. They are forgetful of the existence of the Lord, and because of that, they are acting based on false ego, forgetting their spiritual nature. Ahankara vimuddatma kartaham iti manyate. They are thinking what they are doing is their own doing, but actually they are being influenced by Durga, by these modes of passion and ignorance. So they are bound up. Now a person who is bound up, they cannot unbound themselves on their own. They need someone who is free. They can free them. Just like we can remember, we celebrated Krishna Janmashtami a couple of days ago, so we can remember gradually we will be going to Kartik month and we will be celebrating Damodar pastimes, remembering Lord Krishna as a baby tied by his mother. So when he was bound up, he couldn't unbound himself on his own. Of course, he could, but because he want to increase love of Mother Yashoda, so to exchange that affection, maternal affection of her, he's Supreme Lord who no one can bind, he is bound. And then Lord Balaram comes and he's like, who bound him? Do you know who he is? And then Mother Yashoda, he starts saying, he's Narsingha, he's this, he's that. He's taking names of all the different avatars. And who dared to bind him? And then Mother Yashoda is saying, and who are you? And Balaram is saying, I'm Sankarshan, you don't know me? And then she is saying, oh, so all the gods, they only had to find my house? You couldn't find any other place to go to? Wait, I'll bind you also, then you will know who you are. And then Lord Balaram runs away. Okay, I'm going to get in trouble too. So then it's mentioned by the acharyas that a person who is in that same rasa, only that person can unbound. So it was Nanda Maharaj. Only he could unbound Krishna or Mother Yashoda. But she wanted to teach him a lesson, so she didn't want to do it. So Nanda Maharaj came and unbound Krishna. So there is a beautiful pastimes. I'm sure many devotees are already planning their meditation in this pastime, following Krishna Janmashtami. But this is how there is so many amazing pastimes to absorb the mind of a devotee. A devotee is absorbed in this way. But a person who is bound by Durga, who is bound by these three modes of nature, they are constantly in anxiety. And Prahlad in this prayer, he is saying to Narsinghadev that I'm not afraid of material existence, because I am absorbed in remembering you by singing your glories, by hearing your glorious activities, your pastimes. But I am simply concerned with love for people who are absorbed in these modes of material nature, who are forgetful of their original spiritual existence and who are forgetful of devotion service to you. I'm simply concerned with love for them. We can see Srila Prabhupada, he had a similar mood too, and he actually spoke on so many occasions about these prayers of Prahlad Maharaj and prayers of Mother Kunti, Queen Kunti. So those two prayers he spoke often, and he even quoted them often. So these are some prayers we can remember, and we can actually say these prayers, especially something like this, when we know there are devotees in Bangladesh, they are suffering so much violence from other living beings. And that's the situation of material existence. So remembering these glorious devotees, we can also free ourselves from these material miseries. Is there anyone here who want to suffer? Because everyone wants to become free. So this is the real freedom, freedom from these modes of nature. Krishna explains in chapter 14 actually, one who understands how these modes are acting, such a person can become liberated. Otherwise, there is no chance. Of course, these days, not many people even think about liberation. What to talk about attaining liberation and engaging in devotional service beyond that. So it's about what's going on in our mind. Like Kapil Muni is saying, the thoughts of my devotees are always absorbed in thinking of him, speaking of him. I was thinking practically, how do we think about our daily activities or our devotional service or life in general? But a few examples I was thinking how we can experience being free from material miseries. I was thinking of 3 examples, but maybe you know some more you can share with me. First example that came to my mind was Prashadam. Yesterday we were in the Prashadam hall, Prabhupada Appearance Day feast, and I was speaking with Amal Bhakta Swami, and he was saying, you know, can you record all this noise that's going on in the Prashadam hall? There is so much energy, devotees are so excited. He was like, I hope they will remember to say the prayer, because there is so much excitement. I hope they don't forget to say the prayer, because, you know, devotees have been fasting for more than 24 hours, and then again, another after taking Ekadasi Prasadam, another half-day fast. So everyone is hungry and fatigued from festivities. Devotees actually get fatigued from celebration, all these festivals, because our physical body still has limitations. But he was saying, can you record all this? You know, it's all this energetic sound. And I was saying to him that in one lecture I heard from my spiritual master, he said, when there is a good feast, there are no doubts about Krishna consciousness. Even people who come from outside, new people, even they say this, like, what you got in your food, like, it's so good. And they can also see it's just like same ingredients they can get from some supermarket and they can make it. But its quality is changed. So that was one example I could think of. Another example was Kirtan. When we are in Kirtan, I'm sure many of us have experienced it. Maybe there is something really like taking our whole energy, stressing us about some issue, and we can definitely hear from our leaders here. There are so many things to worry about. But when you come to a Kirtan, like how we had Kirtans last couple of days, and of course any day Kirtan, but especially on these special days, we can feel devotees are putting so much energy out there. So we can feel, we can go beyond limitations of our mind. We can experience this. And this one is a difficult one. But I was also thinking of Srimad Bhagavatam class, when someone is really absorbed, and like we see sometimes some Maharajis come, there is so many devotees and they are just like caught up in the, it feels like as if it's happening live in front of you here. And everyone is so absorbed. But still, there are some, they are in a different planet at the same time. Like they go to some Nidra Yoga state and they are in a different world. So that also happens. But I'm sure like some point in our life we have experienced that too. Being absorbed in hearing some pastime, maybe some pastime we like. These were 3 examples that came to my mind, but maybe some of you can share some other examples that you can think of beyond these, if anyone likes to share. Otherwise, I have a prayer I want to say, and then I think I will finish with that. There's one song by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Let's see if I can find it. So he's explaining this state of a devotee, state of the mind of a devotee. And in this song, I'm sure many of us know this song. Mama mana mandire rahanisi dine Krishna Murari, Shri Krishna Murari, Bhakti Priti Mala Chandana, Tumi niyo he niyo Chitanandan, Krishna Murari, Shri Krishna Murari, Jivan Maran Tava Puja Nivedan, Sundar he Manhari, Krishna Murari, Shri Krishna Murari. Like that, there are few verses. But he's saying, he's praying, this is the mood a devotee is praying for Krishna to be in his mind, in his heart. So they become completely obvious to external existence. Please abide in the temple of my heart, both day and night, O Krishna Murari, O Shri Krishna Murari. Devotion, love, flower garlands, and sandalwood, please accept them, O delighter of the heart. In life or in death, I worship you with these offerings, beautiful one, O enchanter of the heart. So, another pastime that came to my mind is about Lord Chaitanya, and when King, what's his name, the king's name? Pratap Rudra, sorry. So King Pratap Rudra, he was trying to meet Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya wouldn't give him audience. He said, I don't want to see a materialist. Of course, everyone mentioned to him, he's such a great devotee, he's doing so much service. But Lord Chaitanya, for his ashram, he didn't want to present himself as someone who is associating with someone absorbed in political affairs. So, because the culture was so prominent due to various reasons, he didn't want to be seen with a political leader. He didn't want to be seen with someone involved in politics. So devotees made various plans so Pratap Rudra could see Lord Chaitanya. And then one of the prayers that actually got Lord Chaitanya completely in ecstasy, and he stood up and embraced King Pratap Rudra, was Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvi Granantiye Bhurida Jana Bhuvi Granantiye Bhurida Jana. So when he said this, Lord Chaitanya, he stood up and he started saying, Bhurida, 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 and he embraced King Pratap Rudra. So, of course, at that time, it's described that Lord Chaitanya, he had no consciousness, no awareness of King Pratap Rudra being a king, because he went in disguise. He was dressed in dhoti kurta, in the devotional outfit, and he was saying these prayers that were actually that are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. chapter entitled Song by the Gopis. So the gopis, they were singing these songs, remembering Krishna, feeling separation from them. So you might say, like we are talking about all these pure devotees, they must have some pain too. It cannot be they are always happy. Like in our experience, we cannot imagine someone being happy all the time. So how can it be? So yes, devotees also, they experience pain, but their pain is different. It's completely transcendental in nature. It's completely spiritual. They feel pain of being separated from the Lord. That's why this chapter is there, Songs of the Gopis. They are expressing their feelings of separation from Krishna, remembering him. And just by saying these prayers, they are experiencing so much happiness. They're expressing their pain of separation, but just by expressing that pain, they are experiencing great happiness. It's very mystical, but it happens. So sometimes we may experience a tiny glimpse of it. Maybe we like some devotee, they move away somewhere and we miss them. Or maybe we had like good association with our spiritual master. I'm sure many devotees here, we have so many Prabhupada disciples. And yesterday, was a day where we were remembering Srila Prabhupada. So I'm sure many of them, they feel great separation from Srila Prabhupada. And it's painful. But how do devotees overcome this pain? Only by engaging in devotional service. I'm remembering this point now. In one talk, my spiritual master was explaining, I think this is also mentioned in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. And of course, probably many conversations, Srila Prabhupada said that if you want to know me, read my books. You can actually know me better than me by associating with me than by reading my books. Why? Because, in our sadhana stage, our consciousness is not so pure to associate with a pure advanced devotee. But when we are studying the books, like now we are studying about these characteristics of pure devotional service, so we develop more appreciation and we get to know these personalities more by understanding these details and how to associate with such personalities. Where many devotees, they actually regret like how they were so, like influenced by modes of passion and ignorance. They could have taken much better, they could appreciate much more associating with Srila Prabhupada, or for that matter any devotee associating with their spiritual master, if they were in a better consciousness. Because many times there are new devotees, they get opportunities to serve the gurus, but they may not necessarily be in a transcendental state of mind to be doing those services. Many times we make mistakes, and that upsets the spiritual master. But of course, when we do something good, that also pleases the spiritual master. So devotees experience also pain. Lord Chaitanya is the greatest example of showing the highest levels of expressing how devotees experience pain from separation from the Lord, especially in his last years when he was in Jagannath Puri. The only devotees who could give him some solace was Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy. And he told them, like, you stay with me, you don't go. So King Pratap Rudra, he actually relieved Ramananda Roy from government service. He was a big minister in his government. He relieved him from the service and on full pension, that you don't have to worry about how you're going to take care of your expenses or this or that. You just go and serve Lord Chaitanya. So they, in their company, Lord Chaitanya, when he would feel great pain, they would sing different songs. They will share different pastimes to relieve Lord Chaitanya of his pain. So like that, yesterday when we were hearing devotees offering and different progresses that devotees have made in offering service to Srila Prabhupada, it would give a lot of pleasure to Srila Prabhupada. It actually said that we should relieve. Srila Prabhupada is relieving Krishna from his pain of separation from all these other living beings who have forgotten devotion service, who have forgotten Krishna. And there is one picture of Srila Prabhupada. He has his hand on his head, and he's like, expressing to these devotees, I have a headache. And of course, even in that, he looks very blissful, if you have seen that picture. But he's saying that, my pain is relieved when I hear these good reports of increase in devotional activities, especially when he hear big scores of distribution of his books. He becomes very pleased. I remember whenever a new book came into print, Srila Prabhupada would hold it, touch it to his head, look at it, read it, get some devotees to read it to him, and he would be like, I haven't written this book. And he would experience so much pleasure just by, hearing his own writings. So, remembering these things, I hope we can take some inspiration, and because many of us sometimes we are slacking on reading these books ourselves, and we are missing out on all these gifts that we have been given. Because studying them, we can remember and we can become absorbed in this way, and we can forget our material existence. So I think I would leave on that note, but I'm sure many of you have some reflections from these big major festivals or some experiences. If please share, we have a couple of minutes. Anyone wants to share something? Is it a question or a comment?
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has mentioned the offering of the inhaled breath into the exhaled breath and the offering of the exhaled breath into the inhaled breath as opposed to a karmic action. This is, in the parlance of yoga, described as kriya or akarma. Karmaless karma, because you are offering the inhaled breath into the exhaled breath and the exhaled breath into the inhaled breath. This is the process of kriya yoga. And in my experience, I'm a Kundalini Kriya Yogi, so I totally vouch for that. That dhyan of any kind, Rup dhyan or any meditation, is so key to transcending the material nature. And of course, we are here with the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And, no, I don't mean to mumble. I meant. Yes, Prabhu. So, yes. Okay. So.
Thank you for your comment.
Yes.
So yeah, there are different practices, but here Kapila Muni is giving glories of devotional service, and actually every different practice, karma, jnana, yoga, unless Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita itself, unless it's engaged, it's related to devotion service, one cannot attain the goal of it. So we will just end on that note. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.